When our dogs aren't feeling well, we feel it in every part of us. The worry, the questions, the quiet hope that we're doing everything we possibly can because they depend on us to make the right choices. And it's so hard. You know your dog's in pain, but they can't tell you what exactly is wrong. But what if healing didn't have to be one path or the other? What if there is a way to bring together the best of both worlds, traditional medicine and holistic care, to support our dogs not just in illness, but in truly living well? Today's episode is about that balance and that hope, and a different way of taking care of our dogs, a more complete way for caring for the ones we love the most. We're going to talk to Dr. Jessie today from Healing Paws, and it's a really inspirational and educational episode, and I hope you give it a listen, and I hope that it inspires you to think of different ways to take care of your dog. Welcome back to A Dog's Devotion, the podcast for dogs. This episode is dedicated to helping you give your dog the best life possible, especially through the challenges that come with aging, illness, and, well, basically everything in between. Today, we're joined by Dr. Jessie from Healing Paws Center, where they have a very unique and powerful approach to pet care, and it's actually changing lives. Dr. Jessie specializes in integrative care, combining traditional veterinary medicine with holistic therapies to treat the whole animal, not just the symptoms. From acupuncture and nutrition to conventional treatments and diagnostics, this approach is all about balance, personalization, and giving our pets every possible chance to feel better, heal better, and live better, which is what we all want. If you've ever felt like you needed more options, more answers, or a more complete approach to your dog's health, this episode is for you. And Dr. Jessie, it's such a pleasure. I wish that I had found you 3 years ago when I had my senior dog, Max, and he had arthritis and suffering. And, as a dog owner, you want your dog to live forever and be pain-free and run around and jump around. But as they age, you see how they slow down and you have to pick him up to put him on the bed. And he's on pain pills, and it's just heart-wrenching to see. And if anybody goes to your website, you cover so much. And I want to go over all that today, so people know that there's other ways out there to keep our dogs, not just our senior dogs, but other dogs that are sick, healthy and alive and vibrant and living a full life for as long as possible. Because that's what we want. I would give anything to have another day with my Max.
No, I
Yeah.
understand.
So before I start to cry,
No,
I
cry.
always cry when I talk about my dog. So for those who may not be familiar, let's talk about what exactly is integrative veterinary care.
So, integrative veterinary care is basically combining the best of Eastern and Western medicine in veterinary medicine. So, it's everything from blood work to fecal transplants to herbal therapy to laser therapy to acupuncture. It's the best of both worlds.
And how does it differ from traditional veterinary medicine?
I'd say the main difference is that integrative medicine is very good at attacking the root of the problem.
Right.
Felt very stunted when I did only Western medicine because I felt like the only thing I could do is really put a Band-Aid on illnesses and diseases.
Right.
Eastern medicine gave me a chance to actually go to the root of the problem and solve it so that it completely disappeared and was healed.
So did you start off as a vet just practicing the traditional way to treat dogs, and then you decided to combine the two?
I did. So I'm trained in Western medicine. So 4 years of vet school, then I did a rotating internship. And I realized what I really wanted to do was only focus on Eastern medicine. But I did all of the classical training for Western medicine.
So I'm curious, what led you to decide to combine both approaches?
My dog Duke.
Your dog.
Yes. So my dog Duke was diagnosed with a pretty serious and rare liver condition. I actually went through all my vet school notes, and there was only one slide on it in the 4 years. That's how rare it is. And I did everything in Western medicine, everything by the book. I called specialists in Europe who had written papers on this disease process, and nothing had worked. And a colleague of mine said, "Why don't you try the acupuncture vet just down the hall?" And I remember back then I said, I'm not doing that. That sounds weird. And she said, "Well, you've tried everything else. What's there to
Right.
lose?" And I went, all right, fine. And I brought my dog to her, and she even said, wow, I've never treated this. But according to traditional Chinese medicine, it would be this, this, and this. I want to see him for acupuncture, for laser therapy, and I want to start him on herbs. And I went, good God, am I doing this? And
Yeah.
I did
I
it.
mean, it sounds crazy at first
It sounded
when I hear you talk
crazy.
about
Here's
it.
some herbs for your dog. It's going to fix
Yeah.
this. And I went, okay. And 2 sessions of acupuncture, he was running around like a puppy again. And I became absolutely obsessed with this type of medicine.
Really?
Yes.
Does it work for all kinds of ailments with dogs? Are there certain ailments that it works with or it doesn't? I mean, how do you know when to bring acupuncture into the picture?
It really depends. I'd say for those really chronic conditions, Eastern medicine tends to work a lot better. But if we're talking about things like a fracture, obviously Western medicine is going to be better for that.
Right.
But there are things in Eastern medicine that can help after you stabilize the fracture to help that fracture heal faster,
Right.
right? So I always felt like Western medicine was very limited. And I don't feel that way with Eastern medicine. I just don't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what about senior dogs? I mean, I talk a lot about senior dogs here because they just start to slow down, as I mentioned with Max, and there's all these ailments start to happen, and you just like, oh my gosh, you don't want them to suffer, and vets normally just give pills or say, you've got so much time left with your dog. That's just a natural progression of a dog's life. Can this type of, I don't want to say medicine, but can this prolong a dog's life? Can, say, a dog with acupuncture get relief?
Yes.
Or a dog with arthritis? I'm sorry, not acupuncture. Can a dog with arthritis, can acupuncture help that?
Absolutely. I had 2 consults today. Both dogs were seniors and absolutely adorable. And the biggest goal that the owners had where I just need him to get up on his own, right? Because one of the dogs, if he couldn't get up, he would just start crying. And I know that using things like acupuncture and even physical therapy and laser therapy, we can lower that inflammation level and we can get that pet walking again and transitioning from floors to standing without any help from the owners.
You're kidding. And
No,
how many treatments? See, I just find this amazing. Like I said, I wish I knew you 3 years ago. How do people find you? Like, what do pe this is not something that I think a lot of people talk
it's not
about or
common.
know about.
I agree with you. It's not very common. I think in the next 10 years you'll start to see it more and more, but right now it's very small. Most of my owners find me through word of mouth and then through Google.
Right.
They'll Google arthritis or they'll Google dog unable to get up and they'll see a blog or a video because I'm very big on using videos to show what we can do because it is unbelievable that you can use acupuncture needles and light therapy to help these pets walk again and run again. That's very hard to believe. But once you see these videos of initial and then current, it's just magic. It's wonderful.
I know, and you've got tons of great videos on your website.
I work very, very hard on it. Thank you.
Do you do the work on the website yourself?
I do everything. I did hire someone recently just because I'm starting to get tired. But yes,
Yes, I bet.
initially I did all of it. And then now I've gotten to the point where I've got someone and she's amazing. And she's like, you text me everything. You're my best client because you have these very specific visions of how you want to show it. And I completely agree. It's wonderful.
So if somebody wants to go to your website and take a look at these videos, which I say you should go do this because it's amazing. Not only the videos of these dogs, but all the ailments that you treat. Where can they go? What's your website?
So our website is healing. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Sorry.
Did
Um,
Dr. Jesse, you forgot your website?
Sorry, it was just such a good compliment. It's www.healingpawsfl.com.
FL.com.
Florida, so
Okay, I'll put that up. So it's healingpawsfl.com. Okay. Now, you talk about you treat the whole dog.
yeah.
What does that mean?
So I find that a lot of times a dog will come in, let's say for lameness or difficulty getting up. My goal is not just to treat that one condition we see, but help improve the overall health of the dog. So what does that mean? I want to look at what they're eating because I think that matters. I think food therapy is the basis of all health. I want to look at what supplements they're on. I want to talk about what makes them happy to make sure they can do those things for longer. It's not just looking at the lameness. it's their entire life. So
So
I
then
like to focus on everything.
on everything, that's interesting because that's not the way normal vets operate,
I would
right?
agree. I think I'm very blessed in that the way I've set up the clinic is that we have 40 minutes to 60 minutes with our owners and our patients. So we get to take the time to really dig in and say, okay, how are our liver enzymes looking? Okay, well, we've got a few herbs that could help with that. In addition to, I want to put you on things that are going to naturally detoxify the liver and naturally bring down those items.
Right.
Okay, we've got lameness. What are your floors like? Okay, you've got tile floors. Well, we've got a variety of options to help your pet grip that floor, whether it's putting runners down, putting toe grips on, teaching them how to put paw stickies on the paw, or
Right.
even booties. So I like having that freedom to really set up the pet for success in all parts of its life.
Of course. And I want to say now, I don't want to put down regular vets. That's not my intention of doing this. This is just another approach for helping dogs, especially, I always go back to senior dogs because that was my focus when I started this was rescue dogs and senior dogs that really get overlooked. And so I just wanted to just put that out there right now. I'm not putting
Course.
down their vet because I think they do wonderful work and they're caring and they're wonderful, but this is just an alternative, which I think when people are in dire situations like I was with Max, it's nice to know you've got something different to go to and you could see results.
Yes.
So how important is it to look beyond just the symptoms that a dog has?
I think it's really important to figure out the root cause. I've had dogs come in who basically have just been on Serenia forever, and we kind of just chalk it up to, this is just how they are. And that's a band-aid to me. So a symptom is not going to tell me the actual diagnosis of the pet or how to get rid of it. So for me, that's the clinical part where it really comes down to we need to figure this out. This is not something I want this pet on forever.
Right. So walk me through when an owner comes in for the first time with their senior dog and the dog has arthritis or kidney or liver issues, which happens a lot. Walk me through that first session that you have with them. And then how often do you advise them to come back to see you?
So I have a great example. Today I saw Axel, who
Axel?
was Axel
Aw,
is absolutely just scrumptious, like sexy old man dog who's 12-year-old golden. And the main complaint from the owners was he can't get up on his own. And when he doesn't get up, he gets very upset and he barks. And then we feel really bad because he can't grip and we're not home all day. And I said, okay. So the first step is just me watching Axel and how he walks. I just want to see him walk across the hallway. We've got runners, so they're able to grip, and I want to see him come back. Then we're going to go into the exam room, and the owner and I just talked about when they're noticing it, how often. Because while that's happening, I'm waiting for Axel to sniff around the room, to transition over rugs, to find the really comfortable bed we have in every exam room, and then eventually lay down so that I can see what he looks like laying down and when he tries to get up, what it looks like from start to finish.
right.
For Axel, the biggest issue was his hind limbs. He cannot extend his hips and he has trouble flexing his lumbar spine. So, without even touching Axel, I can get a ton of information just from that. Obviously, I asked the owners more specific questions like, okay, if he's got trouble with transitions, how does he do with posturing for pooping?
Right.
Because that's a huge endurance action where they've got to sit and hold that position.
That's right.
And they said, yeah, he has a lot of trouble too, actually. And I said, okay. So without even touching him, I've got tons of answers there. Then, of course, I think food is love. So I obviously bribe Axel and get him to adore me by giving him one of the various treats we always have in every
Of
exam room.
course.
Because
Yeah.
if you're going to go to your doctor, you should get treats.
Of course.
That's a given. So Axel loved turkey. He was just above and beyond for turkey. So he got a ton of turkey while I did my physical exam so that he didn't even notice I was doing it. And then afterwards, he's like, all right, this is a pretty good place, and came and sat by me.
Okay.
And so I spoke with the owners about changing up his diet because he'd been on kibble for years and I really want him off of that. I spoke with them about transition helpers. So they've got rugs, but guess what? Axel's a dog in South Florida. It's really hot down here.
Well,
He wants the cool tile. Okay, well, the cool tile doesn't help him grip. So I said, okay, here are a variety of booties that I really like off Amazon. There are paw stickies. We can even do nail grips. We can figure this out. And we can also add a floor fan that faces his favorite bed, which is under a rug. So he's more likely to go to that bed rather than the cool tile.
Right.
And then I talked to them about the therapies that I think will make a huge difference in his life. So for Axel, we need to do acupuncture to relieve the pain, the inflammation, and to help him extend his hips more. He's also lost his endurance and he's lost a ton of muscle. So that's where physical therapy would come into play. And physical therapy would involve teaching the owners exercises that they can do at home every day, just like the gym. You know, if you're not doing it at least 4 to 5 times a week, you're not going to see improvements. So that's a game plan for Axel aside from really good supplements.
Right. And what kind of supplements would you suggest? Like, just say for Axel, for example.
For Axel, it's very much arthritis based because
Yeah.
we know from the x-rays that were done before he even came, from the physical exam, from just watching him, that he has massive amounts of inflammation at his joints. So we're going to target it with things like glucosamine, MSM, fish oil, getting those really good omegas in. And then I also like to use herbs and botanicals.
And how long does it take before the dogs feel a difference or start acting differently?
Every pet's different. I always knock on wood and I say, like, my average is 3 treatments and we start to see improvement.
Right.
But every pet's different. Some pets it takes longer because it's taken them years to get to this point. So expecting improvement in less than 4 or 3 sessions is difficult, but we try for it.
It's interesting how you've got the holistic and traditional treatments that you combine and work together. They obviously
Yes.
work together.
They work very well together.
Are there situations where one is more appropriate than the other?
That's a really good question. I would say for the very challenging IBD cases or cases that are extremely sick when they come to me and they're still in that very, very sick level, I have to stick with Western. We can incorporate little bits of holistic medicine, Eastern medicine, but I can't go there too rapidly because these pets are in such a precarious position. And those are the challenging cases because you want to incorporate more, but you don't want the pet suffering because we went too quickly.
Right. I understand. What kinds of holistic therapies do you offer? I mean, you mentioned acupuncture, nutrition, and supplements are obviously extremely important, but you also there's a whole load of things on your website. It's incredible.
It's a lot, and it's probably because I just love learning so much, and whenever I find something new, I want to learn all about it and incorporate it into my toolbox. So, for instance, shockwave therapy is readily utilized, heavily utilized with horses. Only now are we starting to use it with cats and dogs. And I think it's because probably the name doesn't sound great, shockwave, but the research for horses is phenomenal. And the research for cats and dogs that's coming out is also just mind breaking. It's just wonderful.
But so what is shockwave therapy?
Shockwave therapy is utilizing pulsed sound waves to
Yeah.
actually go into the joint space and disrupt cartilage to get blood flow to come in and fix the actual area. So
So
it
it's good
has
for arthritis.
wonderful for arthritis, hip dysplasia, elbow dysplasia. It is unbelievable. And then on top of that, it's phenomenal for dogs who have a ruptured ACL. So my own dog actually has both of his knees. He's torn both of them and he's got hip dysplasia. And I was doing acupuncture, laser therapy, and it wasn't enough. Once we incorporated shockwave, it was unbelievable how much of a difference it makes. And I've seen the same from my patients who come in for conservative management of an ACL tear. So it's a big game changer. It's just not commonly utilized.
Right. Yeah, I've never heard of shockwave therapy
Yeah.
for an animal. It
I
just
get
sounds
that
a
a
little scary.
I know, and I even told the company, I said, your research is phenomenal, but you really should have labeled this something else. The second I say shockwave therapy, everyone panics. You're not giving shocks, you're giving pulses to the animal. And they say, yeah, yeah, we know. I say, okay, great.
So this is all good for senior dogs, because we
Yes.
know senior dogs come with a lot more problems. So what about puppies or a 5-year-old dog? I just got a 5-year-old little Yorkie who is adorable, but he seems fine. Now, would I bring him to you just to make sure his knees and his joints are okay and he's eating properly and he's getting the right nutrition? I mean, just because there's something not wrong with my dog, could I still bring him to you to make sure that nothing ever does go wrong with him?
Absolutely. I actually have a ton of clients who just come to me for what we call our wellness updates, where it's a younger dog or cat, and they say, I just want to make sure I'm doing everything right. And I will go through and come up with an individualized nutrition plan, a supplement plan. We'll do a full physical exam to make sure we're not missing anything. And then a long term game plan as far as if they're considering vaccines or if they're considering pet insurance. Things like that are items that I love to go through.
Right. Now, do you still believe in, the heartworm pills and all that a regular vet would give
Prescribe.
your dog? Yes. Okay.
So the tough part is I have not found anything holistic that is 100% effective, right, against fleas, ticks, heartworms, intestinal parasites. And it's upsetting that we have to resort to these chemicals that aren't really great.
Mhm.
But the bad news is if we don't use them, some of those bloodborne parasites that our pet can get or intestinal parasites, you and I can get. So not only are you protecting yourself, but you're protecting your pet as well. On top of that, if your pet does get heartworm disease, the drug that you use to try and get rid of the heartworms, melarsamine, is not great. It's not safe. So it's, for lack of a better word, it's almost picking the lesser of two evils.
Right.
And trust me, the second something comes out that absolutely works, I will be purchasing it for all of my pets, but I haven't found it.
Now, maybe one day you will.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
Is there, I know you talked about Axel earlier.
Yeah.
Is there another dog who, really was transformed under your care that you wanna share?
Oh my goodness, I've got so many. I'm even working on videos on some later. I think the ones that are the most rewarding are the ones that come in and they're typically Frenchies and they're paralyzed and the owners tell me that they've already gone to the neurologist. They cannot afford the MRI or the surgery and that if we can't fix it, then they're going to stop. And it's very hard because you're hoping that it is just a herniated disc and it's not anything else and you're hoping that there's not too much spinal damage so that you can recover that function. And then to see these pets come week after week after week and start taking steps and then start running and to see how great they're doing is just wonderful. It's
So,
wonderful to be able to fix.
that's amazing because I would assume people who can't afford, and it's expensive, when you've got a dog that's paralyzed like that,
Yeah.
you know, not everybody can afford the the care that it takes, and unfortunately, what's the alternative? I mean, I don't even wanna say it, but you know what's gonna happen.
It's rough. It's very rough.
Yeah, but the fact that you've have approaches that actually can help this dog and save its life, and now not only was it paralyzed, but now it's running around.
It's running around and looking at you like, why are you staring?
Right.
And you're just like, "No, sorry, I'm just so happy."
So you must have, not only are your animals, your dogs and your cats happy, your human clients must be just, I can't even imagine how thankful and grateful they are to you.
I am very lucky. My clients are pretty freaking awesome. They're
Yeah.
very, very awesome. We actually have, 2 gratitude boards is what I call them, and anytime a client texts or emails or sends us a Christmas card, anything, I put them up on our gratitude walls, and they're so full that now, we're gonna do a celebration wall, and anytime something great happens, like a pet takes a first step, we're gonna have the owner write on it and then add it to our celebration wall because we've
Amazing.
filled up both huge gratitude walls.
That's amazing.
It's really nice.
You
It
need to
it
open
feels
up
good.
more centers.
Goodness, I get asked that a lot by my clients, and I think that the biggest blockage is it's tough to find staff to work out there right now. It's tough to find really good people to work.
Is it?
It's very hard.
In just the holistic approach, you mean?
I think in veterinary medicine in general, a lot of my colleagues are kind of leaving the field because it's rough. It's emotionally rough. It's very taxing.
Yeah, I was gonna say emotionally. I mean, just doing this podcast, the stories that I hear about puppy mills and dog auctions and dog abuse and, I mean, most days when I speak to somebody, I'm crying because I can't handle it. I can't imagine being a vet and have to, see what they see. It's heart-wrenching.
It's a lot. I don't, when I worked general practice and emergency, I didn't, I would come home, my family would ask me, "How was your day?" And I would just say, "Great,"
Right.
because I don't think anyone should be exposed to what we see because it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I know what I've seen, and that's hard enough. So, let's veer into something a little more positive before both of us start
Yes,
crying.
good idea.
Yeah. What can dog owners start doing today to support their dog's overall health at home?
Oh my goodness. I'd say the number one thing is gonna be diet, then I would look at exercise. Because that really does help every pet. You want every pet to be at an appropriate body weight. You want every pet to be taking daily walks or twice a day. It's even good for you as a
Yeah.
human. And then I would also look at supplements. It's tough for me to say, this supplement, that supplement for every pet. I tend to say, look, if your pet tolerates things, no history of pancreatitis, fish oil is a big game changer for the coat, for the joints, the kidneys, for everything. You've just
Is
gotta
this
make sure
fish
you're
oil that we take as humans in the little capsules?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But how do you get your dog to take that? Those things are they're they're big pills. I mean, little Smokey is 7 pounds. He wouldn't eat that.
Well, there are options. You definitely pick a high quality supplement that is concentrated, so you're not giving them these whopping pills like we get.
Right.
You're giving them these little ones, or you're doing this straight liquid like a pump. So for my dog and even for my cats, I just do a pump system, and I put it over their food, and they're very happy.
And is this something that you can get at where would you get something like that? I love the pump idea.
I like VRS. They do a good job. The other one that does a great job that's concentrated is Well-Actin. So you can find a ton of different supplements. It's making sure that they're a good quality. They have an NASC quality of seal of approval, meaning that they were actually vetted through a third party. It wasn't just them producing it and sending it out into the world. Someone took a look at their ingredients
Right.
and then making sure it's appropriate for them. Because I do have some pets that we can't do oil-based anything because they have pancreatitis.
Right.
So it all just depends. It's tough.
Okay.
You gotta get someone crazy like me who is into supplements to take a look at it.
Right. And you mentioned diet. I know diet is really important,
Absolutely.
and I'm a huge advocate. And once again, I don't want to put any dog brands down or food down. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help and educate people, but I make always made my dog their food. Like, my dogs eat better than
Amazing.
I do.
Amazing.
Yeah, I like ground turkey, ground chicken. They get steak once in a while. We do brown rice. We do sweet potato. We do carrots, beef broth.
Awesome.
So they eat really healthy, and I think that's really important. And just to prove my point, when I got Smokey, who's a rescue, he had no hair. I don't know his background. We thought that he was deaf because he didn't understand English. And well, when we tried to talk to him in English, he didn't hear us. Then when I spoke to the person who I got him from, it turned out that he was a Spanish dog. So
Oh my goodness.
because I've spent time in Mexico, I could speak Spanish, and he understood what I was saying. So that
Okay.
took care of that problem, but he had no hair. He was almost bald, and I know that's because of stress and, from one home to another, from different rescues, being around a lot of dogs, probably not eating well, and once I had him for a month and started giving him the food that I was cooking for him, you should see him now. He's like a long-haired Yorkie. He's
Amazing.
Yeah, it's silky. He's like a silky Yorkie. It's like he's gonna be a show dog.
That's awesome. That's
So I
amazing.
really think diet is super important.
I agree. I cook for my 80-pound dog, and
That's a chore.
that is a labor of love. He has his own freezer. I
Wow.
make his treats, absolutely, and I love it. I love doing it. It is absolutely worth it. I think it makes such a difference in his quality of life and his health.
Yeah.
And so
Yep,
I
I
I
agree.
personally love home cooked food over kibble. Like, I'm a big proponent of that.
Yeah, I've never given my dogs kibble. I'll spend, half my day cooking their week's worth of food. It
Yep,
gives me joy
I
to do
agree.
that for them.
Yes, that's I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's the fun thing. People think I'm crazy. But, when you're a dog lover and you love your dog and you want it to be healthy, you will spend the time and money doing it. And it's a little more expensive, but it's okay. For me, it's totally worth it.
It's the value that you see, and I think it
Yeah.
provides a ton of value for my dog.
I'm curious. I mean, you do so many great things, and I really urge people to go to your website because it's super informative and there's so
You
much that you offer in your office. Do you collaborate with primary veterinarians as well?
I do.
Okay,
I do. Absolutely, because I really like focusing on more of the Eastern side, but I
right,
fully recognize that the Western side is valuable. I don't offer surgeries, I don't offer ultrasounds, I don't offer x-rays. So I want that valuable information to see how this pet is doing, and I know my primary veterinarians can offer it.
right,
It's very important to me that I collaborate with them as well as the referring surgeons. We perform a ton of physical therapy and the surgeons will call me and ask, can you see this pet? It's not utilizing its leg like it should be post-op. And I'll say, absolutely. Tell me more about this case. And I'm going to update you because I love videos. And they
yeah,
always laugh
yeah.
and
Oh, I know.
they say, all right, we're excited to see. And I say, absolutely. We might do a
Yeah.
TikTok. Wait,
What are some of the biggest myths I'm interested in about holistic or integrative care um, that you hear from people?
the biggest, I don't know if myth is the right word, but that it's voodoo and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's voodoo. It doesn't work, right?
Voodoo and it doesn't work. I'll never forget when I first opened over 10 years ago and said I was selling herbs, the number of people that laughed and said, okay. And now I
Herbs
show
for
them
dogs.
herbs for dogs. Now I
Yeah,
show them the research that the Chi University at University of Florida is producing. And I'm like, this is fact. This is actually happening. This is a research-based clinical study. This has a sample size. This has what you need. This is the herb that I told you about way back when that works.
right.
So that's the biggest myth I get.
If there's one thing you would want every dog owner to understand about integrative care, what would it be?
That I think it is the standard of care that should exist. I think you should be having a practitioner who looks at Eastern and looks at Western and helps because that's the future of veterinary medicine.
Mhm. It is. Well, I mean, you're a perfect example of this. Your center's been around for 10 years.
It has
That speaks for itself, doesn't it?
I think so. When I first opened, I opened because I knew I couldn't do what I wanted to do at any other place. And it's because of kind of what I was told is that, okay, voodoo. And I would say, all right,
Right.
I see how we all feel about this. That's okay.
But,
I don't need
people
approval.
but Dr. Jesse, people feel that way about humans. I mean, I remember as a kid suffering from migraines and I go see doctors, I would go see chiropractors and nothing really worked. And then somebody said go to for acupuncture and my family thought that that was crazy. You're going to do acupuncture and put needles in her body. That's going to help her migraine. So it's not just dogs, it's humans too. We think, you
Yeah.
know, holistic healthcare is voodoo, but they know something over there that we certainly don't know and have not embraced yet fully, I think.
I think that it will happen more in the future. But I
I
think
hope
because
so.
it's not mainstream, it's not taught at every veterinary school, it's not taught in high school, it's not taught in a lot of our culture. So
Right.
how would anyone really know about it unless you went and saw a video, unless a friend referred you, things like that?
Right. Or they listen to this podcast and they listen to Dr. Jesse and they went, "Oh my gosh, I can help my dog in his arthritis and he doesn't have to suffer and I don't have to pick up my poor dog and put him in the car and have a ramp from the bed." I mean, how many people have you seen with a ramp so that the dog can climb up the ramp and go to jump into bed with them, you know?
A ton,
Yeah.
a ton. And
Yeah.
I get it.
I know. Well, I really want to thank you. And I hope this enlightens people. I hope this shines a light on a different approach rather than the regular approach to veterinary care. And people realize that there's other ways that you can treat ailments that dogs have, especially senior dogs when it comes to arthritis and bigger dogs like German Shepherds with hip dysplasia. I mean, you can help that. They don't have to suffer and they don't have to take all those pain pills that the vets normally prescribe. I mean, that's all they did. And for my dog was give him pain pills or give him a pain shot. And some would make him tired. So he'd sleep all day. And, it was just, but at the time, I didn't know any better. I'm now becoming more enlightened and I'm learning and I'm hoping to spread the word and enlighten other people that these dogs don't have to suffer like this.
You are. It sounds like you're doing an amazing job, and that's an incredible path. That's an incredible opportunity to help everybody recognize that there is more out there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, Dr. Jesse. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate it.
This
I
was
really
absolutely
do.
wonderful.
Thank you, and keep posting those videos. And I urge everybody to go to her website. Again, it's healingpawsfl.com, and, I'll put it up on the screen for you as well, but you have to see the transformation of some of these dogs. Instead of just hearing it from us, you can actually see it.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. So when it comes to our dogs, we don't just want options, we want the right options. We want to know we've done everything we can, explored everything, given them every chance to feel good again. Dr. Jesse reminded us today that healing doesn't have to be one dimensional. It can be thoughtful and it can be balanced and it can be deeply compassionate because, as you know, our dogs deserve more than just treatment. They deserve to be truly cared for, and that means body, mind, and spirit. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for loving your dog so deeply and always searching for the very best for them. You can follow along with me in my journey at A Dog's Devotion #1 on Instagram and on TikTok. Until next time, trust your instincts and ask the right questions and never stop advocating for the health of your dog. Dr. Jesse, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, girl. This was awesome.
Keep doing the work that you're doing. I love it.
I'm obsessed, so don't worry, I will.
Okay, good. Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And that's a wrap on another unforgettable story from the heart, because when it comes to love, loyalty, and second chances, no one does it better than our dogs. They find us when we're lost, lift us when we're low, and teach us what true devotion really looks like. Thanks for listening, and remember, in this wild world, we're all just trying to find our way home. Sometimes it takes 4 paws to lead us there. So give your pup an extra cuddle today and cherish your time with him. Give him some extra treats too. I know he'll love him. This podcast is in honor of my best buddy, Max.